Keep yourself mute.
Yeah.
Hello everyone. Good evening. How are you? We are once again back with the India Spark live talk show. This is Rupa Tanti, the founder of India Spark. India Spark is a platform where we also connect the job seekers with the industry leaders across different domains in order to develop and empower the workforce ecosystem in India. Okay, so today's session is a very interesting one where most of the audience are awaited for this session. The topic would be revolving around the future of online learning platforms. Okay, so most of you are right now acquainted with the features of the AMIT, but still for the new people, I'm just taking across the features. On the right hand side top, you could see the raise hand option, which you could become visible and ask the question to the speaker. And then there is a question column where you can type your questions. We can put across to the speaker. That will be allocated for last 10 to 15 minutes of the session. Okay, so let's go ahead with the session. Today for this session, we have the eminent speaker, the Senior Vice President of Topper, Mr. Avek Agrawal. We welcome you onto the session, Mr. Avek. Avek, could you just unmute yourself?
Yeah. Thanks, Rupa.
Yeah. So let me take you with the introduction of the speaker. Avek works with the Topper as a senior vice president and has a wide variety of senior level relationship management and the leadership roles in the multicultural environments. In the past, he was also the Indian Foreign Service Officer and managed relationships and have frequent interaction with the eminent personalities from all the walks of life, including the politicians, bureaucrats, businessmen, academicians, and artists. He also have an exposure in many areas which include international expansion, business development, public policy making, general management, strategic planning, renewable energy, and corporate affairs. Yeah, once again, we welcome you onto the boat. Avek, could you just tell us, the glance about what is Topper all about and some insights about the Topper?
Yeah. So Topper started around 8-9 years back, and what we have been trying to build is a one-stop solution for students, right? So for whatever a student needs is in terms of academics, after school he should be able to do everything on our platform, right? That's what we are building. Right? He might be appearing just for the school exams. He might be appearing from competitive exams. He might want to take some Olympiads. He might want to take scholarship exams. So end to end, he should get everything he wants on our platform. Right? He should learn, he should practice, he should take tests, he should solve his doubts. So everything is available on our platform. So that's a very, very comprehensive platform we are trying to build.
Okay. Would you like to show us some slides or videos related to Topper for the better understanding?
I will show you very, very small videos about Topper so that everybody understands how differentiated product Topper is compared to other players in the market.
Sure.
Practice makes a man perfect and a student intelligent. Topper's second module focuses on practice questions to sharpen students' question-solving skills. Our adaptive algorithm understands the student's IQ level and gives them appropriate questions from the chapter chosen so that their brain power increases. Each question is also accompanied by its right solution and answer. At the end of a question set, the student is shown the accuracy and speed obtained in that question set. The student can also find NCERT solutions, previous year papers, and questions grouped into easy, medium,
Awake, that's the end of the video. Hello? I think as everybody knew about the Topper, it's one of the educational startup, which is also a competitor of Baiju.
Yes. So
Yeah,
I was saying,
Yeah, Awake.
yeah. So I was saying is, so there are few limitations in a physical classroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is how do you adapt your teaching to students, right? So if there are 50 students in a classroom, how do you adapt to each of one of them, right? Which is possible in an online environment, right?
Yeah, Awake, your video is not visible.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, and one more feature which we are really proud of is a live doubt feature where 24 by 7 your queries are solved instantly, right? It becomes like a uh, Uber kind of thing. If you want a cab, you ask for it, in 5 minutes the Uber is there. And if you have a doubt, you ask for it, in 5 seconds the tutor will respond to you, right? So I will just show a small video on the doubt thing which we are trying to do.
Topper's fourth module, Doubts on Chat, is a 24/7 helpline for asking doubts. It helps the student to connect with tutor and ask a doubt at any point of time in day or night. The student can chat with the tutor just like WhatsApp and can type his doubt or send a picture of the doubt by using the phone's camera. The tutor will reply in a similar way to the student, either by typing his reply or by sending a picture of a handwritten solution. Topper's Doubt module is powered by over 5,000 tutors across India. Experience its power now by downloading the Topper app and subscribing to its Doubt module.
That's really a very inspirational, wonderful video, I could say.
Thank you.
So, yeah. So, coming to the point, Awake. So, how is your journey with the Topper? And is there have any interesting experiences which you could share with our viewers?
Yes. So my personal journey with Topper started 2 years back, right? And I joined them as for anything new business kind of, right? So my responsibility was and still is creating new markets, new channels for Topper. So few things which we tried, and one of them which really stands out is Topper was an expert, right? So against a lot of low-income families were very proud of this product, right? Because they either could not afford, for them 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 rupees a year still is a lot of money for them to spend on education, right? So we had never tried reaching that segment. And for the last year, we have done several experiments to see whether this group of students will benefit from Topper. So there were apprehensions they would not have a device. There were apprehensions they would not be comfortable learning in English, right? So, and all these apprehensions were proved to be untrue, right? So all these students are now learning through Topper. The government schools students have now started using Topper. So we have around 40,000 students in government schools which are learning on Topper. Similarly, we are launching various programs for that category. So I think that is probably one of the very interesting things which we have seen. Rupa, you are on mute.
Could you hear me now? Yeah. So, do you think online learning is as strong as formal traditional learning in the classroom?
Yes, so I think that is a very difficult question to answer. There are some lot of positive points about online learning, right? But few of them is you can learn whenever you want, right? You don't have to stick to a particular time which is dependent on the other person, right? So that is one big benefit. Second is you can learn from the comfort of your home, right? You don't need to spend 1 hour going, 1 hour coming back to a private tutor for a 1 hour class or half whatever, right? Third is, as I said, the platform can really adapt to your requirement, right? So maybe one student needs 1 hour to understand a topic, the other student need 2 hours, right? One student needs 10 questions to practice, the other student might need 50 questions to practice in that topic, right? So that is very difficult to happen in a offline environment, right? So this can only happen, and Topper is one of the few companies which is doing it, right? So if two students in the same class start using Topper at the same time, after some time, both of them are looking at different problems, right? Because the platform will learn, okay, this person is weaker in this topic, so he needs to practice more on this subject in this topic. So the adaptive platform makes a lot of difference in the learning, how the students learn, right? If they want to learn a topic 3 times because they have not understood, they can do it in an online platform. They can't do it in a classroom. I think all those benefits are there. The only disadvantage which we see is it is very difficult to monitor the student in an online platform, right? So in a classroom, you are sitting, you will at least look at the board, you will listen to teachers. But on an online platform, if the student is not interested, he can just switch it off, right? So I think that is the only disadvantage we have seen till now compared to a physical classroom.
Yeah, moving ahead, Awake, what is a shift to the virtual learning could mean for the future of higher education?
So higher education will shift a lot towards the online learning, especially the professional courses, right? It might not, the degree courses might not move, but the short term technical courses, where they were anyway shifting to online platform, right? But I think there you will see that trend will get accelerated a lot, right? In higher education, especially the short term professional courses will move mostly towards the online platform. The degree courses will have probably a balanced thing, right? So we will not see the course, the IITs or IIMs move to a completely online environment. But yes, it will become a blend, right? You don't need to be present in the classroom for everything, right? So that the acceptance that a lot of things can be done online has happened now with this crisis. Right? So now every institution will see and bifurcate, okay, these things I will do in class, these things I will do online. Right? So it will become kind of a hybrid model for most of the universities.
Okay. So, Awek, tell me one thing. What do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of online learning?
As I already mentioned, right? So, main advantages are it can adapt to your requirement, right? You can learn anytime, and you can get, I think, other big advantage, you can get access to the best educators, right? In an offline environment, I can't think of getting access to best profs in India or abroad, right? In online environment, that is possible, right? So we will see best educators, best content being delivered en masse through online, right? Earlier, maybe IITs would teach 2,000, 5,000 kids, but now they can actually reach out to 50,000, 5 million kids, right? So I think that access to education will improve a lot, right? Especially after primary school. So the access to education will improve. The access to quality content will improve. So I think overall it will be a big jump for at least those who want to learn.
Okay. So, Avik, tell me your 5 strong reasons why the online learning now considered as a future of education.
Yes, so as I said, so online learning is becoming important because it can give you access to courses which were not available before, right? Earlier, I
Hmm.
could not do a data science course from a US university easily, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I think
Hmm.
the access to courses by good universities will increase. The availability of such courses will increase. Right?
Hmm.
A lot of universities would do online courses with a primary objective of attracting the students. Right? It was a marketing activity. Right? Now it will become the mainline activity. Right? So I think that will happen, and that will bring down the cost, right? So for learners it will have a huge impact, so that I could now learn the same thing at a fraction of the cost, right? So my
Hmm.
cost
Hmm.
will go down.
Yeah. Okay.
So you might not be able to see me, guys, because there is a power cut, but let us continue.
Yeah, you can keep on the audio mode if you want. No issue.
Yeah.
So, Avik, nowadays, the interactive videos are platforms are rapidly increasing, right? So, do you
Right.
think that what will be your thoughts on the next generation of video platforms?
So I think the video platforms will evolve over time, right? Right. So earlier we started with a simple 2D videos, right? Then we started with animated videos. So nowadays
Hmm.
it's mostly the animated videos which has become streamlined, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
at what point of time these animated videos will give way to AR or VR?
Hmm.
I think we are still a couple of years away from that,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
because of technical requirement of cost and everything. But
Hmm.
yes, ultimately it will give way to
Hmm. Hmm.
advanced
Hmm.
videos.
Hmm.
Animation will
Hmm.
become
Hmm. Hmm.
better. Right? I think all those things will happen in the next few years.
Okay. So, how is, in your opinion, the India's edutech strategy evolving? Can you share some thoughts on that?
So I think edutech is evolving in 3 or 4 different segments, right? So one segment is where Topper is currently active, right, which is basically an after-school support for school students, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apart from this, what will also happen is you will see online platforms. So right now, most of the education institutions, most of the schools, at least where segment where we are operating, most of the schools are using Classroom, Zoom for delivering their online classes, right? But
Mm-hmm.
these products are not made for schools, right? So what we will see going in the next 1 year, 2 years, that a lot of platforms exclusively built for school education will come, right? They have to come.
Mm-hmm.
Right now,
Yeah.
everybody is doing or using platforms which are not the ideal platforms for them, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
think so. You will see at least a couple of platforms coming in and say, okay, we are made for live classes, online classes for schools, right? And you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to use a Zoom to do your classes now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So online education, higher education will see a lot of jump uh, towards online. That segment will definitely going to see a massive growth in the next 2, 3, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the other segment which is still very small but will become a reasonably big segment would be the non-academic platform for kids, right? It
Mm-hmm.
might
Mm-hmm.
be your sports activities, it might be your hobby, artists, drawing, music. So all these things will come online as we go in a year or two. They are still a very minor segment in the whole edtech, right? But I think that is one segment which will see a really massive growth in the next 2 3 years.
Okay. So, do you think this online programs, certifications, nano degrees will take over the regular college degree programs?
No, I don't think these will replace, but these will complement, right? So
Okay.
if I was planning to go to an IIT for my technical degree, I will still go to an IIT, but I might complement it with a 3 month machine learning course from Harvard or 3 month AI course from Stanford, right? So I think online learning will become a complement to my physical degrees, physical colleges.
Okay. Will industry will accept or recognize such online programs or certifications in your point of view?
Again, industry will recognize the skill you would have learned from these courses. They might
Mm-hmm.
not recognize the courses as such, but
Yeah.
they might be, but they would definitely recognize the skills, right? So if I have done a machine learning course from MIT, I should be able to demonstrate my skills. That
Mm.
okay, I have learned this, and
Hmm.
then yes, the recognition helps, right? But yes, you will have to probably learn better if you are learning online, right? In a physical environment, if even if you don't learn, your certification helps you more, but in an online course, probably your learning will help you more.
Okay. So school education away is evolving, and online platforms like Baiju is there, Topper is there, are helping in redefining education with technology. I completely agree with this. But majority of the schools in India still don't have an access to laptops and technology, especially in the government schools. How do you address to the problem?
So two things, right? So we have seen the availability of devices in government schools have gone up sharply in the last couple of years, right? So there are states which distribute 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 devices every year to their students, right? So yes, so the availability in the government schools is going up, and even at home, right? A majority of them have devices at home, right? It might be their father's device, might be their mother's device. They might not have access to it 24 by 7, but at least in the evening they have access to these devices, right? And we have data from a lot of these clusters, right, where we see a lot of them spend a lot of time in at least in the later evening on the education using their father or mother's mobile. Rupa, you are on mute.
Sorry. Are virtual classes, virtual classrooms, the future of distance learning?
So virtual classrooms will still have to evolve, right? These are initial times. How they will evolve, we still don't know. Small classrooms definitely become very common, right? But after 5, 6, 8, whether it will become the future is still the time will decide. Right? It's too early to predict whether the virtual classrooms will take over.
How to select a digital education solution provider, the best digital education solution provider? How can we select that?
That's a difficult one. It's similar to what you do for a physical education, right? So if you want to join a college, you talk to your seniors, your friends who have worked, who have gone to those colleges. I get queries every year. Should I join IIT Guwahati Computer Science or IIT Delhi Chemical or right? So you will have to follow the same process, right? The only benefit you can do with digital education is you can actually try out yourself also, right? In case of physical colleges, right, you have to depend on the inputs from your friends, your seniors. So you should still do that for online education, but you can actually go and try it yourself. If I want to choose, okay, should I buy Topper or Byju's, right? You can actually go on both them, download both the apps, try it out for a few days before taking a call. So digital has made it easier for you to experience before you spend your money.
Okay. So how is, according to your views, is technology revolutionizing the domain of education, Avik?
So technology, I think, is making changes in all industries, right? Whether it's education or anything, education, we will see a lot of difference, and the acceptance was apprehensive whether my daughter, 8-year-old, 9-year-old daughter, will take to online classes, whether she will like it, she will not like it. How will she manage the laptop? She has never managed the laptop. But the ease with which this new generation takes all the online education and everything, right? It becomes really, really fast for them to adapt. They are really fast at adapting, and you will see change faster as we move forward.
Yeah. So as per the recent research report released by KPMG India and the Google, they said that online education in India by 2021, the market of online education paid users is expected to grow from 1.6 million to 9.6 million by 2021. Do you agree with COVID-19? This will further increase, Avik?
So yes, definitely. So what online education industry was expecting to achieve in 1 year, they have achieved in a couple of months, right? So mostly the online education industry was seeing 50, 60, 80% growth every year, right? So now they have seen 100% growth in a couple of months, right? So that change has accelerated. What was supposed to happen 2021 will happen in 2020, and obviously we will see another reasonable jump next year, right? So yes, so that market will definitely increase by 20, 30, 40% by compared to the initial estimates.
Okay. So one more thing I would like to say that nearly half of the parents during this COVID-19, there's a lot of online courses going on, online classes are going on, right? So nearly half of the parents are unhappy with the remote learning during the lockdown. What is your suggestion on this?
I think we should take pride that 50% happy and not think that 50% were unhappy, right? So you do something first time without any planning and still 50% are happy. I think that is a great achievement, right? So going forward, yes, we would plan better. There would be better tools available for us to teach online. There would be more resources. There would be more devices. The schools will be better prepared. Government will be better prepared. Students would be better prepared. So yes, I think I'd see it as a positive that 50% were happy when we had absolutely no time to prepare for this, right? So going forward, I think hopefully we will not be in a similar situation, but whatever things will be delivered online, we will see a much higher percentage which will accept it compared to now.
Okay. Moving ahead, the future of edutech and learning in India from augmented reality and the virtual reality lens perspective. What is your thoughts on that?
So I think we are still too early for these technologies to become mainstream, right? We might use them in higher education in very specific use cases. But for these technologies to become mainstream, I think two things have to happen, right? One is the cost of developing the content should go down significantly, and the cost of devices to consume this content should go down significantly, right? I think right now both the costs are too high. I don't see them becoming mainstream in the next couple of years at least, right? Unless there's a breakthrough on the device side and a breakthrough on the production side, right? How do I produce this content at a cost which is manageable, right? Yes, so we are a few years away from these technologies becoming mainstream, and we don't know which one will become mainstream, right? Whether it will become AR or VR or some new technology, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So tell us 5 important trends for the future of e-learning, the development and the career opportunities.
So as the education industry expands, right, so it will open up a lot of career opportunities for students who are currently in college, right?
Yeah.
So not only big names like Byju's or Topper, right? So a lot of new startups will come. A lot of corporates might get into edtech. So this will open up a whole new opportunity for young educators, young students, and it will be not only focusing. So you should not see edtech as a school, right? Okay, so in school the only job is teaching, right? So you can only join a school as a teacher, right? So edtech will give you all kind of careers, right? You might be, let's say, video production, right? Or you want to write scripts. Script writer is a very important, right? Video production is important, right? Teaching is important. Your digital marketing is important. Your sales is important, right? So you will see a different skill set required for the education industry with the online education compared to a traditional education. Right? So
Okay. Aved, this is a question to you. You have to, answer on the business strategy aspect of Topper. Give us 5 reasons why Topper.com is considered as one of the best online learning platforms.
So I think there is only one reason, right? We don't need 5. So whatever Topper does, Topper thinks from a user perspective, right? So the learner who is on my platform, will he benefit from what I am doing today, right? That is so everyone, whether it's the content team or the marketing team or the product team, designers. So whatever, so the only question he has to answer is whether the learner on my platform will benefit from this, right? So that is the only point, only reason for Topper to become what it is today. And for a short term, you might become big by having a very organized sales force, very good marketing. But at Topper, we say, okay, we will do everything what is required, but first it should be whether the product, what the changes we are doing, the new things we are bringing in, whether it will benefit the user, right? So I think that is the only reason for Topper to be what it is today.
So what are the various career opportunities for students from the engineering stream and the management graduates and Topper?
So depends. So if we are talking about the currently what are the opportunities, so there would be some opportunities on the engineering side, and then there are a lot of opportunities on the sales side. So if any of the our attendees are interested, they might forward their CV to India Spark, and then we have a freelancer program where a lot of people work from the comfort of their home to on the sales side of Topper, and they are rewarded handsomely for their efforts, right? So yes, so there are some opportunities right now. But apart from that, on a regular basis, we have, as I said, all the departments which you would think in a startup, right? So you will have digital marketing, you will have content writers, you will have script writers, video production. On the engineering side, you will have the back-end developers, front-end developers, right? DevOps, so all the usual careers you would see in a sales and marketing and IT company.
Okay. So now going up to the viewers' questions. Let's focus on the viewers' questions. There is a Jerry Seaman, a student. She was asking, does Topper have content for college students?
No, we only cater to K-12 segment. We do not have anything for college right now.
Okay. So there is one question from Komali from Chaitanya Bharati. She is asking, what further improvements can be made in IT infrastructure to make online platforms more suitable for online education than the traditional schooling?
So I don't think you need any IT infrastructure now, right? So everything has moved to cloud. You just need a device to consume the content, right? So we should not be thinking about spending our resources on creating IT infrastructure at the consumer level or at the enterprise level, right? Everything has moved to cloud, and nobody should be thinking about investing in IT infrastructure at their end right now.
Okay. So the next question is from Sai Prashant, from student of Lovely Professional University. Learning the theory part will be very easy on online platform, but when it comes to the experimental way, it may not help like in the chemical courses or mechanical courses. Online class is best for coders and who work on software. What do you say on this, Avik?
So there are few things which online might not be able to do. So for example, if I want to do a experiment in a chemical lab, right, I cannot probably do it online with the same efficacy, but there would be, but that would be a very minor percentage of the whole required, right? So there might be 5% of things I do, I would do in a physical, those things constitute a minor portion. As I said, the only thing I'm not able to do is replicating the experience of going to a lab, right, and mixing two chemicals myself and seeing the colors myself, right. So I can still see it, but I cannot feel it doing it myself. So yes, so there would always be a minor portion where offline would give you a better.
Okay. Next question, Vivek, from Dr. Singh of Manav Rachna University. If this scenario of pandemic goes on, there will be a less requirement of faculty as per the load in the university. So how can we manage and how can we challenge this scenario?
So yes, so that will happen. With this crisis, what will accelerate is the best faculty will be more in demand, and the faculty which were not delivering and were there just because the college had to have a faculty, those requirements will go down. So yes, so the performance of faculty overall will increase, right, will improve. So that is a good thing in my opinion, right. So now the faculty is not there because the college needs a faculty. Now the faculty is there because he needs to teach the kids, right. So if my faculty is not delivering, I will get some other faculty which is in some other city and deliver the content, right. So yes, so the average quality of faculty will see an increase after this.
Okay. So are there any internships courses we can do from Topper? The kids?
No. So Topper as of today does not do internship courses, but yes, what Topper is going to launch is other courses more towards the coding, extracurricular courses but again for the school students, right. So our target segment will remain the school K-12 segment. So we will launch activities for those kids, but not from a college student perspective.
Okay, there's one more question from Madhumita. She was asking from Sunbeam School, how can we evaluate our learning from the students?
How can we evaluate learning from the so she is asking how can we evaluate whether students are learning or not, right? So at Topper we monitor it very closely, right? So we have a continuous chart of us. So we give on various parameters, we give a score to each user, and we measure that score regularly, consistently. So for every user, I can tell you how he has evolved during the last 1 year, right? If he has gone up and gone down, or if he has continuously gone up. So at Topper, we track it very, very closely.
Okay. So they would also like to know, Avek, regarding the campus ambassador program of freelancing from Topper. They're interested to know. So who are applicable to that program? They're asking.
So anybody can apply for that program, right? As long as you have a flair for sales, as long as your communication skills are good. So if you're slightly technical savvy, you can understand the product. That helps, right? But there is no minimum requirement from a degree perspective, from a education perspective for this role, right? It is again purely a skill-based role, right? If you are capable of doing it, you apply for it.
Okay. So Amandeep Singh from Sunbeam English School is asking, is there any specific parameter by which we can actually take a true assessments on Topper platform?
So you can always see and go and take a test. So I think that on Topper and a lot of other platforms also you can see is, so once you take a test, it will give you where do you stand compared to others which are in the same grade, with the same board, same subjects, right? So yes, so you can see your standing vis-a-vis other users on Topper clearly.
There's also one more question from Komali. What training efforts are required for teachers, students, and the parents to facilitate the changes in the mindsets and behaviors towards the e-learning?
So for students, I don't think we need to change anything. They are already with the new mindset, right? We might not accept it, but if you talk to any 10-year-old today, he is more comfortable with online education compared to reading a book. Right? The only thing what we had seen earlier was that a lot of parents were not fully convinced about the efficacy of online education. Right? So that thing we have seen a shift after this crisis. So my sense is till grade 2, grade 3, we should not force kids for online education, right? Though till that age, probably students should focus more on offline learning. But once they cross grade 3, grade 4, I think they are fully equipped to learn online, and we have seen a lot of improvement in students of every grade after that with online education.
Okay. Avek, tell me one thing. What is a unique feature in which the Topper platform has been built in comparison to the other online things on the business strategy front?
So business strategy front, not too much of difference, except one thing, that we will only sell to those who like our product, right? So what we do is we tell them, you download our app, you use it for 5 days, only then you buy it, right? Instead of saying, this is the product, this is very good, you buy it today. What we want is and that has we have been doing it for years now, right? So we say, okay, you go try our product. If you like it, then you buy it. So I think that is a major difference, and that comes from the fact that we are confident about our product, right? We are saying, not that we have to build some fear into the way that yes, you if you don't buy it, after you tried your ward should try it out few days, see whether he likes it, then only you pay for the subscription. That is a major difference we have seen.
Okay. So, Avik, because right now, because of the COVID-19 times, most of the students at home are going for the online classes and all. And coming to the financial aspect, if the students, the kids especially, could not afford the package of the topper, any special offer or trial packs you have given to them?
So Topper has a freemium model, right? So minimum features are anyway available to everyone for free.
Okay.
Right? So anybody who wants to use Topper, so we have a lot of users and lot of active users who are using only the free version, right? So, and if you see the affordability, so compared to other offline options, most of the online options are much cheaper. Right? So I can buy a basic pack of Topper at 15,000 rupees a year, right? Where I can study my 3 subjects, right? Compared to physical tuition, right? Which will cost much more. So in any case, online education is cheap, and at Topper we believe a minimum product should be available even for free. Right? So that's what philosophy we have, and that's what a lot of people keep using the free product.
Okay. So,
and we have no intention of stopping it. Right?
So what is the tenure, time frame for that? Is it valid for 1 month or 15 days? The free trial package.
No, it's for 5 days, right? But there are some features which are available for free forever, right? So you can download the app, you can keep using the free version forever, right? So out of 100, you might only have 50 features available, but those 50 features will remain available forever, right? So you can keep using free app if you don't pay the premium features.
Anything besides this, would you want to share the success mantras for the, the kids and the students in the particular platform?
So I think one thing which COVID has accelerated is, as I mentioned earlier, is focus on skills, right? So I think if there is one takeaway which students should take is focus on skills, right? What you are good at, right? How do I make it better? Focus on your skills and don't focus on anything. Job, how do I get internship? You will get everything, right? Once you decide, okay, I am good at this and I am going to become better at this, right? Become better at coding, better at acting. If you like script writing, become better at script writing. So just for degrees or internship, jobs, everything will come your way, right? If you focus on what you want to do, what you are good at.
It's very true. I agree with you, Avik, on this. So, I think most of the viewers' questions have been answered. If any questions remain unanswered, they can just reach us out at info@indiaspark.com. Okay. So, thank you so much, Avik, for your valuable time and inputs. I believe our audience would have enjoyed the session a lot. I would also like to thank foundations like Ambuja, ICICI, companies like Infosys, TCS, HCL, Wipro, Honeywell, Amazon, and colleges like IIT Delhi, IIT Kanpur, IIT Kharagpur, IIM Lucknow, IIM Indore, IIM Kozhikode, and universities like Lovely Professional University, GD Goenka, ICFI, Chandigarh University, Nordcap University, JECRC, Manav Rachna, Galgotia University, GL Bajaj, Graphic Era University, Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Technology, Pragati Engineering College, Nanda Engineering College, Chaitanya Bharati, KL University, MIT, Srimati Shushila Devi Institute, IBS, Shanti Business School, Vigyan Institute of Information, Siddhaganga Institute of Technology, BMS Institute of Technology, Bharat Institute of Higher Education of Engineering, College of Engineering Pune, Dr. BC Roy Polytechnic and Pharmacy, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad University, GS Lohia Girls College, the Heritage School, Eluru College of Engineering, Andhra University, JNTU, Vishweshwaraya Institute of Technology, Parul Institute of Engineering and Technology, and a special thanks to the Kabul University from Afghanistan and a Caribbean University from Australia, and schools such as Ashok Leland Public School, Sarvodaya Public School, Indraprasth International School. Could you just be on mute, Avek? Yeah. Ashok Leland Public School, Sarvodaya Public School, Indraprastha International School, Mahendra World School, Genesis Global School, GD Goenka International School, Delhi Public School, Platinum Jubilee High School, Telangana, Bluebells, MIT International School, Das and Brown World School, Ajanta Public School, Sunbeam School, Sun City, Kamla Nehru Public School, ST Public School, Mogadevi Minda Memorial School, Bharati Public School, Sophia's Girl Modern Secondary School, and also Shirdi Sai Public School, Baba Sharvanan Nath Senior Model School. Thank you everyone for your valuable time. I hope you enjoyed the session and for your active participation. We also thank the support team of the AMIT. We look forward to see you at our next session. Till then, have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay at home. Thanks a lot, Aved.
Thank you, Rupa. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.